The telelogical argument. This is really a subcategory of the cosmological argument. It focuses on the evidence for harmony, order, and design in the universe and argues that its design gives evidence of intelligent purpose. The Greek word telos means end or goal or purpose, and since the universe appears to be designed with a purpose, there must be an intelligent and purposeful God who created it to function this way. So the teleological argument is the argument for the purpose in the universe based upon the evidence of harmony, order, and design. The following are several examples of this theory looking at probability. If I hold a deck of 52 cards above my head and drop them, how many times would I have to drop them before they fell in a straight line, by suit and in order, from deuce to ace? 20,000 times? 20 million times? 20 billion times? Now let's suppose that I give the cards more time to assemble by dropping them from 200 feet, 2,000 feet, 20,000 feet. It should seem obvious that the results would not improve but worsen with more time. Now let's look at another example. Suppose I take apart a plane and scatter the parts over a 5-acre lot. How many times must a tornado pass through a lot before the plane is put together? 20,000 times, 20 million times, 20 billion times. It should seem evident that this is also improbable and, in my opinion, impossible. It's amazing to me how you can look at a camera and say that someone had to have made it. Yet some people will look at the eye and say it happened by chance. Another example is a watch on a wrist. People say that the watch was designed and made by intelligent human beings, yet they will say that the wrist is on and the hand that it is connected to, it was formed by chance. So it seems logical that when we see a deck of cards, 52 cards arranged by suit in order from the deuce to the ace, that an intelligent being, a human being, put them in that order. Or if we see a plane, a camera, or a watch, we assume that it was created by an intelligent beings for purpose. Then it would seem logical to assume that the eye or the hand was also created by an intelligent being.
People are wired differently. That's why a lot of times I will repeat a lot of things so you can remember them. I put some things in writing. I do some videos. I try to mix it up a little bit to help you be involved and think. So that's why I give you also a lot of different examples of the difference between trying to get you towards the understanding of intelligent design. So one of the best examples I kind of left towards the end here is Newton was one of my favorite people, thinkers in humanity. And I'm not sure who to give this credit to because I've seen a lot of it online, but they're just kind of passed down, I think, through oral expressions, whether or not it's even true, but it gets the point across. Now, Professor Newton was sitting in his office one day, and in the corner of his office was this very intricate model of the solar system, with cogs and pulleys, and the planets were rotated around the center, which was the sun. Very, very, very nice model of the solar system. And one night he was in his office, and one of his students walked in who happened to be an atheist. And he saw this model in the corner of Newton's office, and he said, "Professor Newton, that is an amazing model of the solar system. Who made it?" And without even looking up, Professor Newton said, "Oh, nobody." And the student looked at it, and he scratched his head and said, "Come on, Mr. Newton, someone had to have made that solar system. That model is beautiful." He said, "Nope, nobody made it." So this student kind of got a little frustrated because he said, "Well," he said, "Look, sir, I think that you agree that I'm one of your best students, and I'm fairly intelligent enough to know that somebody made that model of the solar system." And without saying a word, Professor Newton stood up and said, "Come with me, son." So they walked outside and they looked out, and it was a moonless night, so you could see the stars really well. And he looked up at the stars and he said, "Son, how can you look at that crude model of the solar system and you say someone had to have made that, and yet it's just a crude model of this, which is so much more magnificent and incredible and beautiful? And you said that is made by chance." But when I heard that, they kind of got the point across to me. I know it hit me somehow. Maybe just because it was Newton, but to me that example kind of hits home. So I hope you enjoyed that one.
Let us now look at another example using similarities of a computer and the human body. So you have a computer and the human body. The computer we know is created by an intelligent being, and a lot of people believe that the human body was created by an intelligent being. Programming of the computer is software, and the programming of the human body would be known as DNA. Now, the units of letters for the computer would be 26 letters of the alphabet, and in the human body, 20 amino acids. Now, the code is binary code. When we try to use it, those letters in computer language would be ones and zeros. In the body is quadrature code A, T, C, and G. And then there's also, we use a computer, it has a message, and in the human body that would be called RNA. And in the computer is machines assembled and run. We put them together, intelligent beings create them, assemble them, and run them. And in the human body, the proteins are assembled and placed. Now, all for purpose for the computer. And many people that believe in intelligent design, especially me and others, believe that the human body was also created for a purpose. Our body consists of 30,000 proteins, and each protein is made of various combinations of 20 amino acids. Proteins, even in a single-celled amoeba, can consist of several hundred amino acids. This is an example of the necessity of an intelligent creator that could assemble such a complex system, such as the human body. We do not question that the program of the computer had to be created by a human, yet many state that the DNA was created randomly or by natural selection. To further our example, suppose that we take the first 20 letters of the alphabet and we have 5 sets of letters. How many times would it take if I threw all the letters up in the air and they randomly fell onto the floor for them to spell out the sentence, "I need a bed to sleep in tonight"? This seems very improbable. However, a protein must have amino acids in a particular sequence that can consist of several hundred amino acids. Titans, for instance, can consist of almost 27,000 amino acids arranged in a specific sequence. The question, therefore, is, how do the amino acids know the correct sequence they need to be aligned into in order to make the desired protein? The answer is intelligently designed DNA, the code of life. Further study. Dean Kenyon, a professor of emeritus of biology at San Francisco State University, co-wrote a book on the evolutionary theory based on biochemistry entitled Biochemical Predestination. This book supported the evolutionary idea that chemicals can develop into more complex structures through mutual attraction. Mr. Kenyon was a hero of the evolutionists. Unfortunately for them, 10 years later he proved his own theory wrong and based his new finding on intelligent design. Because of his study of the sequencing of amino acids to make proteins based on RNA from DNA. There are approximately 90 to 100 trillion cells in the human body. Most cells have 46 strands of DNA. Each strand of DNA has about 3 billion bits of information. To put this into perspective, if you put all the information in the human body into book form at 12 font, the books would fill the Grand Canyon 75 times. Now remember the simple sentence that seemed almost impossible to arrange by chance? Yet some people state that the information found in the human body was formed by chance or other methods like natural selection. However, Many people agree with the Word of God that we are indeed fearfully and wonderfully made. The design argument, even if valid, does not prove a creator, but it does prove an intelligent architect. An architect of such magnitude is worthy of my praise and worship. Now, the information I got from this last section actually came from the Discovery Institute, and I provided you with a link to one of their websites that have a couple videos on there that are just awesome. This last section was specifically on the sequencing of amino acids to make proteins. This is if you have anything in your library and you really want to know the truth about evolutionary theory and the intelligent design debate, you need to have this video in your library. I bought it some time ago, and it's been instrumental in my understanding and clarifying some of the questions that I had concerning intelligent design. Also on this website, you will see a video for irreducible complexity, which will be one of my future lessons. So go ahead and watch that. That'll give you a head start on what I want to present in that lesson. If they say how do you find out here about this video, you can refer me if you'd like. Just remember it's Truth University, John McCamack. Thank you.
And now you know more of the story. Stay tuned. This is John McCamick with Truth University. Good day.